What's up, beautiful people? Dun, dun, dun! Today is our weekly update, and I'm so excited to be doing this weekly update with you guys. Happy February. We are in a new month. How was January? Let me know in the comments below. We have been Dizified with all these Dizzies that we're watching, and I'm super excited to talk to you guys about what happened last week in the Dizzy world. Let's start with our first Dizzy, and that's going to be Sen Çal Kapimi. Now, we are at a point here where they are on the brink of marriage. They are literally about to walk down the aisle. Ada has her dress on, Serkan has his suit on, but a mysterious envelope arrived to the company that he never got an opportunity to look at because it was being thrown left and right, and finally it got into the right hands. They opened it and they realized that Serkan needs to sign an important document at the company in Italy. So he literally has to get on a plane and fly to Italy so he can sign this document so they don't lose some deal or contract or something that they have with this company over there. And he's literally told this literally a few hours before his wedding. And so he goes and talks with Ada. She doesn't have her dress on at this point. He talks with Ada and he tells her that he's going to take a private plane, fly out there, take care of this, and then he'll be back in time for the wedding. Now, Ada's nervous as I would be because I'm like, dude, handle that tomorrow. Or I would have said, let's move up the wedding, get married, and then we can fly out there together because they're going to be going on their honeymoon anyway. But no, Serkan is a businessman at heart, so he decides to take that chance. You could tell that there was going to be something happening by the way they slow-moed everything as they're saying goodbye to each other and all of that. And of course, something does. Ada ends up putting on her dress. They're waiting, and then all of a sudden on the news they say that the private jet of Serkan Bolat has disappeared and no one knows where he is. Well, I know for a fact because of the fragment that he does end up with Italy, and he has memory loss, which I did say in my podcast review that he probably will have. And so he ends up going and meeting up with Celine. And so now Celine is back pretending like they were supposed to get married this entire time. I don't know what's going on in Celine's mind. Are you really actually going to show up at the company where his mother is and all of that? Like, this is a ridiculous script, guys. This is really ridiculous because any parent on this earth, especially a mom like Serkan's mom, would be like, no, you are not going to confuse my son and try to trick him into marrying you. Duh, like seriously. And everyone's kind of just like taking it, hoping that his memory is going to come back. I don't even want to watch the episode because of how stupid it is. Why do we sit here and watch stupid storylines? I don't know. Sorry if I'm offending any of you Serkan lovers out there. Not Serkan lovers, but Sen Çal Kapimi lovers. But when there's stupid writing, I like writing that makes common sense to my brain. So anyway, let's keep it moving and let's go to Menajerimi Ara. So we finally figure out that it's an obsessed fan who's obsessed with Beren, who's doing all these horrible things to Barış, and decides that he's going to do horrible things to Dizi also because I guess he sees that Dizi and Barış are together, so probably that offended Beren, and that's probably why Barış left Beren. So now he's doing all these bad things to them to try to quote unquote help Beren, be there for her, tell her not to be discouraged. So they figure out who it is. The candelabra thing almost falls on top of Barış, but Dizi ends up saving him. They take it to the police. The guy's in the police station. And apparently, at the end of the episode, he was released. Like, that is crazy. Why was he released? Like, literally, he made a phone call from the jail cell to not only Beren, but to also Dizi. It was their fault for not going to the police station right away and waiting till the morning. And so now they have to suffer those things by having to, they let him loose. And so now they're stuck with him running in the streets. And apparently he made his way straight to Dizi's house, and Dizi is home alone and he cut off the lights, but Barış was on his way, so hopefully she'll be safe. And by the fragments it looked like she will be safe, and they'll probably get rid of that issue really quickly. Let's talk about Seferin Kizi. Guys, so this was our first episode with no Nare. Like, they're all just kind of like going through the motions. I think I can understand the writer's position where they really just have to take that thought process out of us. Like, we need to realize that there is no more Nare in this, you know? We gotta move past that. And I think they're doing a good job because they're cutting us cold turkey. Seriously, like, we have no options. But one of the saddest things about this episode was that Geddes passed away, and that really broke my heart. But they made it like really, like, they just cut people. Like, they don't got time to play around. They just cut people from the show, and that's what they did with Geddes. He died, and it was like, we grieve for 5 minutes, he's in the dirt, and it's done. Now, how his mother and all of them are dealing with this afterwards, I think part of the reason why they had to make him die, because remember, Halise and his mom, Geddes' mom, had a very difficult relationship at this point, and Halise kind of cut her out of her life and stuff. But with the death of Geddes, you know, it kind of brought them all back together. So now they can kind of continue the show with keeping Geddes' sister and mom as part of the equation. And so that will be interesting to see. And we were also introduced to Mavi at the end of the episode. And they already showed us in the fragment that, you know, Sanjar is going to be running over to help her, save her. I don't know what he's doing. But guys, we have to learn to love Mavi. Apparently, the actress playing Mavi has played in a TV show or something before with Engin. So a lot of people, you know, love them together as a couple already. I've never experienced them in a show before, so this will be my first experience with them. So I'm hoping that I fall in love with them just like the rest of you guys do. But I'm going into this with an open mind. I'm gonna stick with the show. I'll keep watching it with you guys. Let's move on to Masumlar Apartmani. Wasn't my very favorite episode, but I get it. It was building up depth. It was giving us storylines, you know. And so they're at the verge of divorce. He finds her because basically Ece kind of confessed to Neriman that he loves her, and Neriman, realizing that he loves her, realizes that she doesn't love Emre, the other guy. She actually loves Ece. So, but Ece kind of freaked out and kind of tried to get into a relationship with Gamze, which I don't know how long that's gonna last. I bet you Neriman might shut that down like right away. But as far as Ince and Han, because Ece told Neriman where Ince was, Han was able to go to her, kind of talk to her, but he's like, I'm not running after you, let's just get the divorce, whatever. But Gulben comes out of her comfort shell, goes and talks to NJ and convinces NJ to actually give it a chance, give it an opportunity. So she does end up going at the very end of the episode, which is what they showed at the very beginning of the fragment, was her going into the house, and now she's going to have to adjust to living in their house. I think that episode comes out today, and so we're gonna get to see that. Also with Naji, it's super sad because he's on the verge of death. He does say goodbye to his daughter in this episode. She doesn't know that, but him and his wife, Gururu, they both know it. So that's super sad, but he still has to convince Safiye, you know, that they should, you know, take the opportunity to be with each other while they still can. And the fact that he doesn't want his daughter to see him in a debilitating state, but he does want to be with Safiye as he's debilitating, it shows how much he truly, truly loves Safiye and really wants to be there with her and kind of have just a little, I hope they have a small moment of life together. Please, please let them have a small moment. I hate when true love never has a chance, you know? It's kind of like the Titanic. But let's keep moving to the next Dizi, and let's talk about Dogdugun Ev Kaderindir. Alright, so now Zainab is now Mehdi's lawyer, and he is making sure that if Badish is helping her with this, he doesn't want no part of it because he feels like Badish is one of the biggest cause of the end of their marriage. But it's not Badish, it's actually Savash, which is Badish's brother, that's helping. I think it's kind of weird that he's going to use part of his fortune to pay to give Mehdi while he's in jail, or oh no, not give Mehdi while he's in jail. He's going to use part of his fortune to pay for the witness. The witness's daughter is in the hospital and needs to have surgery, so he's actually going to pay for the surgery. So I think that was kind of weird. I don't know if I would do that, but obviously Badish knows that something's going on because he can smell it in the air. And so he's like, dude, what's going on? Everybody's being fishy. And the fact that they all went out to lunch together, Savash and Zainab and them, they all went out to lunch together and they didn't invite him. That sent up like big red flags in his eyes. But he did confess to her that he wants to be with her. He wants to be, you know, a couple. And she didn't deny him. I mean, they went walking on the pier hand in hand. And so obviously something's going to happen with them. How is that going to affect her relationship with Mehdi? Even though Mehdi, you know that he loves her, but he's trying to keep that professional distance so he, one, doesn't scare her away, but two, so maybe he can rebuild that trust with her. I'm not sure. But Mehdi's also having to deal with things in jail, and so they have to work things out because he has to do things in jail to get evidence to stuff to prove that he's innocent. And Zainab and Nu and all of them have to do stuff outside of the jail to kind of deal with the situation. It's kind of crazy. It's all over the place. But we'll see what happens. And also, Badish's sister came into town, and I can understand Badish's sister. I said it in my podcast. I completely understand why she is hesitant for Badish, her wealthy brother, to be with a woman that has so much chaos in her background. Because I, as a sister, would probably say the same thing to my brothers. So I don't know how that's going to work, because I think she likes Zainab as a person. She just doesn't like the chaos around her, and she doesn't want Badish to be a part of that, especially since we know that Badish was previously married and there's chaos around that. So more chaos just doesn't make sense. So I can understand Badish's sister. Some people are like, oh my god, she's evil, she's just like Mushke and all that stuff, but in my head I'm like, I don't think so. I don't feel that way. I feel like it's a true sister concern, and she has a right to have that concern. We'll see what happens in the next episode that will air tomorrow. Let's keep it moving. I did finish watching Sol Yanim episode 4. I think they're on like episode 5, 6, 7. I am trying to work my way up there. Right now they're at this point where, you know, she's still standing up for Selim as her, you know, they're still together, and Buttigieg found out that it was the friend that outed her as a bulimic and stuff, and so they have some crazy stuff going in there, but the ratings are really going down for that show, and honestly I can see why. I'm not that crazy about watching it, which is why even though I have free time, I don't go and say, hey, let me catch up with the show. But I am watching it slowly. It's probably not a show that I'm crazy about sticking with. But for those of you out there, tell me what intrigues you about this show. The only thing that intrigues me about this show is that I love the main actress who is playing Seher. And is this Seher? Sarah. Who's playing Sarah. And yeah, that's the only reason why I'm watching it. Nothing else about the show really entices me to want to watch it. And so let's talk about our next show, which is Son Yaz. Guys, I love Son. Yeah, so obviously right now he's a little bit pissed with the prosecutor. Akun is pissed with him because he found out that he knows his mom, and he lied about it to Akun in the car. Akun was like, do you know my mom? He's like, no, I don't know her, or whatever, which was a lie. And so he's kind of mad, so he's doing things behind the prosecutor's back to embarrass him and stuff like that, just because he's upset with him. And he actually promised the other gang leader that he was going to be his eyes and ears to help him and kind of helping him against the prosecutor. And so the prosecutor was able to get some information out of the person that they have in protective custody to one of their crates that had drugs in it. But because Akun found out, he was able to warn the gang leader, and so they took out all of the drugs and they put a bunch of beach balls in there, and that was really embarrassing for him, and it was embarrassing to his, you know, the people above him and stuff like that. And so yeah, that was crazy. But then at the same time, Akgün and Yağmur are like, you know, Yağmur likes Akgün, but she doesn't realize that she likes Akgün, but Akgün is starting to realize that she does. He actually force kisses her and she gets pissed off about it, but you know, she liked that, but I don't condone it. But obviously she was explaining what love is, and obviously she was explaining him. I mean, we all knew that. She knew that, but she didn't want to say anything, and plus, she has to be that good-hearted girl, so she can't do anything behind Khan's back. At the same time, Khan's mom is really in a desperate situation because she hasn't sold any houses, so she is like, you know, strapped for cash. And this lawyer guy that's basically a shady lawyer, he promised her a deal and then flat out on the deal or whatever. And that same lawyer guy ends up telling Canan, which is the prosecutor's wife, ends up telling her who Akgün was, and that pissed her off, so she ends up signing divorce papers. But he thought that the guy told him about what he had did to not have her working the job, and so he ends up spilling the beans to her, and she gets really upset. So now he's like in a super difficult position. Nothing is going good for him right now. Everything is going crazy for him. He didn't do good on his mission. Now he's not in a good place with his wife, even though they had a mini makeout session, but they kept getting disturbed by everybody. So yeah, it's a difficult situation. At the same time, Yağmur's cousin has been flirting with the owner of the club, but the gangster's son wants to be with her, but it's so stupid because he doesn't know how to flirt and stuff like that. I feel bad for him because he looks like he just wants some kind of appreciation or love or something, and he's just not getting it, and so he's trying to force it. It's because of how he was raised and stuff. But at the same time, like, it doesn't condone his behavior. You just can understand his behavior. And some people are going to be like, that's the same thing with Mehdi. But honestly, no. Mehdi is on danger level right now, okay? We need to step back and look at somebody. I posted a clip of when he was yelling at Zainab, and I'm like, you guys forgot. Y'all forgot where we came from. You guys forgot where we came from. But anyway, let's keep moving. Let's talk about Legacy, aka Eminette. They are in wedding planning mode, but Zuhal is like gone crazy, put poison in her teacup and stuff, trying to kill Seher. And honestly, Seher is just oblivious to most of it. I don't know why she's protecting Zuhal. She's doing it for Iqbal. Now, Iqbal is a weird character because you want to hate her, but then at the same time, if it wasn't for her, a lot of bad things could have happened to Seher. So it's a weird position. Plus, she's the person that ends up asking for Seher's hand in marriage and stuff like that, and so it's kind of weird. And then with the other storyline with Ali and them over there, it's just taken a whole nother turn. It's really like, it's not boring, but it's like unnecessary. It doesn't make any sense for us. Like, I don't know why I'm stuck watching that. I want to get back to their love story and not with Ali and Kiraz, and not be about all this other stuff. And we haven't even seen a Begüm for so long, just because she's like in a very limited, because they're not really focusing on Ali and Kiraz. They're focusing on all this other stuff, which is so irrelevant and so dumb. I don't even know why we're in it. But anyway, that was the Dizzies for the week. I tried to be short, guys, but I don't think I was very short at all. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about any of these Dizzies. And I want to thank you guys for 600 subscribers. I am super excited. I got an email saying you got 600 subscribers, and I was like, woohoo! I hope we can get to 1,000 really soon. Let me know what you want to see on this channel so we can help our family grow. And also, if you don't know, we are on Facebook and we are on Instagram, so check us out over there. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Don't forget, smash that like button and bam that subscribe button, hit that bell, and you'll be notified every time I pop up on your screen. Bye!